Man, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you, man.
And every time we talk about a role, you go next level on the next role. So congratulations. You're singing.
I know. What right do I have to do that? No.
And you're good.
Thanks, Dave. I mean, we try. There's people who can sing, and then there are singers. I fall into the former category. But that's okay. I'm up for new challenges, and that's what this was. And if you're not going to step up to the challenge, what are you doing there? Yeah.
Is that something that you approach every role like? I know that we were talking earlier when we were getting together, for this morning, and you were mentioning the fact that you like the challenges. You like to do things that people don't expect from Peter Dinklage.
Sure. Yeah. No, you want to keep them guessing. 100%. And mainly it's just selfish. I don't want to repeat myself or bore myself and feel like I'm blending the last character into this one, so they have to be quite separate. I just finished a comedy heist movie. The last thing in the world I want to do next is a comedy heist movie. So I'm always looking for something to mix it up with,
Let's talk about the emotions. I never knew I'd heard of Cyrano, but never knew, now I know a lot because of this film. And it's just a fascinating story. What struck out to you most about who he was, who he continues to be with the story?
Well, I love his duality. I love his contradiction of self. I thought it was a smoke alarm. I love his. He's a contradiction. He's so confident in so many ways, and then he's quite. I wouldn't say cowardly, but certainly not brave in the ways of love. For a man who can entertain a room, he has a hard time having the confidence for one woman, So he hides behind Christian and basically uses him like a Facebook profile to lure the girl. But to what end? Where is it going to end? And I found the tragedy of that. He sort of is the smartest man in the room, but he doesn't have any foresight to see how this will end or where it's going to go. What is he doing? He doesn't even know, because he lets it go for so long. The lie, basically, and love is the opposite of lies.
You worked in Italy during the pandemic. You created the bubble of the characters or the real actors, actresses that were part of this.
Yeah.
But my question is not about that. It's about I heard that you took a souvenir from Italy.
She found us.
Okay, tell me.
We got a puppy there. We lived on the top of this beautiful hill, and there's quite a number of homeless dogs in the area where we were living. They're not particularly sad. People take care of them. They're outdoors. It's beautiful Sicily. I think in America they would be thrown into the pounds, but they're just living under trees and they're not bothering anybody. But one morning I was driving to work and this mama dog was under a tree, and I noticed she had 7 little ones with her, and and I knew, because they were right where you couldn't enter or leave our house without seeing them, that my kids were going to see them, and that was going to be it. So I just knew that one of those was going to go home with us. And we did. We got Roxy. Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's a real Sicilian gal. But she's amazing.
Peter.
And she's a year now. It's already been a year.
Can you believe that?
Yeah.
You got it. Dave Morales. Houston,
the coolest
Texas.
guy ever. Sorry.
You're
do you
the
need to do that
coolest
again?
person. I just want to start off this interview by saying I love our friendship.
Me too.
You are someone that I just, whenever I know that I'm talking with you.
I'm blushing.
Or even get to hang out with you. I could be Hollywood for a second here. We're at the after party after this screening here in New York last night, just hanging out with you and talking. You're just, I love your energy and I love your positive outlook on everything.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I recognized you from your voice. I just heard you across the room and I was like, that is Dave Morales. I would know his voice anywhere, and I turned around and surely enough, it was you, and I saw your face and it made me very happy. Anyway, let's.
Thank you. Yeah, no. So I want to talk about the challenges of this particular role. Every time I talk with an actor or an actress, and there's a singing part to that, sometimes I get told, "Oh, I'm nervous," when I actually did. Okay, let's expand on that, and then I have something to tell you right after your answer.
Because I had time, I was in the stage production of Cyrano at the Goodspeed Chester Theater. I had gotten a lot of those nerves out, and I'd gotten to know Pete, and so showing up, we already have a chemistry and a familiarity with each other, so that was really nice, and it was kind of like a family event. And obviously I know Joe very well, so, I had already revealed my soul to these people. But with the singing, we sang everything live, and everything's very fluid. It's not your typical musical. All the dialogue is very fluid with the song. And so that was a challenge, just kind of making that really seamless. And then also, you have to stop at some point worrying about what you sound like. And it, we had no intention in sounding perfect, so that was, that gave me a sense of freedom. Like, it didn't need to be perfect. It just needed to be authentic and real.
I'm a former radio person. As you know, I zero in on certain songs. Your Name, which is the number that you perform, one of the numbers you perform, is
Your Name.
Yeah.
No? Nope, that's Pete's song.
That should. What's the one that you do?
Everything's there in your name. Nope, that's Pete.
There's one that you do on the balcony.
Because every time I see you, Overcome.
That's it.
Yeah.
They told me it was Your Name, and I even asked the music writers, "Is that your
Don't
name?"
listen.
Don't listen to them.
Listen to them. You ask me all the questions.
Yeah, I know. Stick with the source. Okay, let's talk about the dynamics of this story and the relationship. I knew Cyrano, obviously, but I didn't know Cyrano. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So you were familiar with the classic text?
Well,
Had you read Cyrano before?
No, to be honest with you, it was a Brady Bunch episode many years ago.
Got it. So you knew he had a big nose, and that was all you knew, and he couldn't confess his love to his beloved.
And there's somebody, he's speaking for somebody else.
Yeah.
So the dynamics of the relationship, though, what astounds you and drew you into this particular story?
Well, I mean, it's a story. Cyrano is a story about our inability to express and to articulate our love. So Cyrano isn't able to express his love because he doesn't believe he's worthy of love, and Christian is not able to express his love because he becomes tongue-tied every time he approaches Roxanne. And that makes for a really entertaining love triangle. But also, it's very emotional. It has a really emotional heart. It has a strong heartbeat to it. But also, I think it's just a powerful love story that has stood the test of time. It's a universal story about how fear often stops us from doing what we want in life. It's not just about love all the time, Fear stops us from getting the job, or fear stops us from getting the girl or the guy, We often see ourselves through a different lens than others. We are hardest on ourselves.
So you and I were talking like breakfast, one of those where everybody gets, it's been Hollywood. Man, we were schmoozing. And we talked about mothers in New Orleans.
Yes, the best seafood, man.
Dude.
Apple boys, come on.
That's the spot right there.
That's the spot. Shout out.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, we'll send it to him. Maybe we'll get something free. No.
Maybe we get a voucher or something.
Right? There you go. Yeah. So, fantastic job, man. I want to know what you thought when you first read the script, when you learned the story. I knew nothing about Cyrano except for an old Brady Bunch episode. For real, dude. And I'm like, okay, Cyrano? For real? He was real and spoke the words. You're in it.
Yeah.
You read it. Tell me what your first thoughts were.
I didn't know anything about it at all either, man. And I actually, the only thing I knew was Roxanne. I remember seeing that, and I was like, oh, this is dope. This is really funny. And then I read the original stage play, and I was like, oh, wow, this is dense. I was like, is this what we're doing? Because I didn't get the screenplay. And then I met with Joe. I finally got Erica's screenplay, and I was like, whoa, I really actually see the relationships now. I can see this brotherhood between Cyrano and Christian. I can see what my interpretation of Christian would be, and I think that's the thing I always look for when I'm looking at a script too. It's like, what do I have to offer it? What's my perspective? What's my take? If I don't have a take, I ain't got no business doing it. And I had a take on him, so that was exciting, and I was excited about it.
Something else you shared with me that I have to get people watching this right now. You actually started writing during the pandemic. You shared that story with us this morning.
Yeah.
Tell me it again, and that was before you actually knew about this.
Yes.
Tell me, I got to hear that again.
I don't know why I started this, but I was having dreams every night, and I think I was just like, well, I need to figure out what these dreams mean. So I was like, the best way to do it was to just start writing poems. So I got a little journal, and I would try to interpret the images and write them in like some type of structure and rhythm, and see what it turned out to be. And I had this like almost half a journal worth of poems from dreams. And I don't know if they're any good. I've never written a poem in my life other than when they made us do it in middle school. But yeah.
And then you get the call to do this.
Yes, and then I get the call to do this, and I was like, look, I'm supposed to be here, man. I'm ready. Now Peter's going to help me write my poem, interpret my dreams.
I got to say something. Look at God.
Man.
Seriously, that is just fantastic. All right, we're going to close with this. I want to know what this experience has meant for you. You guys worked during the pandemic. You worked in Italy.
Yes.
You created your own circle. You're telling this story that is just of all time. I mean, this is a classic story that still lives today.
Yeah.
What are you feeling, man? What do you tell me? That's coming out. People are going to see
Yeah.
it. People are. I'm anxious. I'm excited about this movie. It's finally here. Tell me what you're feeling.
I'm thrilled, man. You know, I never in a million years I would have dreamed to be in, like, first of all, a period movie. You know, oftentimes I don't think I would have been cast in this situation. So to be in a movie like this, to be in a Joe Wright film, to be in a film with Peter, I remember I watched Game of Thrones. I binge watched it. I came in late and I watched it 5 days. Monday through Friday, I watched the whole season, 10 episodes every day. So I was a big fan of Pete. And so to have this movie coming out now is huge. During the pandemic, it was scary. But I just feel so blessed and grateful that I got this opportunity, and I know many didn't, and I know a lot of people didn't get to work and had a lot of loss. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be nice to move forward and have something really beautiful like this with music going on and love and just something to relate to. So I'm excited.
I can't wait till the next time we talk. I love
Yeah,
your spirit, man.
You
Going to
too,
mothers,
man.
dude, you're the man. Congratulations,
you too,
for
man.
real. You deserve it.
Appreciate it.
Joe, you know, I want to tell you right now that I have made a new best friend during the last 2 days of the Cyrano events, and that is you, my
Oh,
man.
thank you so much. Well, Dave, that's very kind of you to say.
The times that we've been able to hang out, we went to a Hollywood-type party
I know.
in New York last night,
I
all
know.
fancy.
Yeah, human connection. That's what it's all about.
Isn't it great?
Yeah, it really is.
I'll tell you what else is great, Cyrano. And the fact that so many challenges, and I want to ask director questions, obviously, since you're the director. When this started,
Yeah.
COVID, the pandemic,
Yeah.
you're going to Italy. How many times did it go through your mind? You're like, are we going to be able to pull this off?
Every single day. And every single day of the shoot, I was like, are we going to get to shoot tomorrow? Are we going to have any positive cases? Are we going to lose our principal cast? But amazingly, we got through it, and that was a testament to the entire crew and cast and supporting artists. And it was somehow the pandemic really focused everyone's passion and determination to make something that was beautiful and that would stand up against the bleak prospects that the world was facing.
At our big Hollywood party last night, I asked you a question, and I told you I was going to ask you today. I want to know what this story means to you personally, and it's just that simple question.
I find it difficult to connect with other people. I find human connection and intimacy really challenging. And so for me, this is a story about our need to connect and the difficulty of doing so. For whatever reason, whatever blocks you, whatever gets in the way of just laying yourself out there, whether that's your own insecurities, whether that's your sense of unworthiness of love, for me, I relate to that, and so the opportunity to make this film was an opportunity to unpack those experiences and those feelings and figure out where they come from. It was an opportunity to connect with my fellow crew and cast, and hopefully it's an opportunity to connect with the audience too.
You filmed in Italy, and there was jokes about, was it cannolis? Or,
Yeah.
I've been to Italy, and I love the cannolis. I like them in the United States.
Cannoli is is plural. Canolo is singular.
Okay, so we'll go with cannoli, because I'm not going to stop at one.
Exactly.
Were they that good?
Yeah, really that good. Yeah. I mean, we went to this town because we'd heard that the cannoli were so good, and they were so good that we ended up shooting the movie there.
So can it be said, and I'm just making a joke, but kind of not really, that Cyrano was filmed because of cannolis at the location? Okay.
Yeah, totally. The problem was that when we got there to shoot, the Italy was going back into lockdown, and so the cannoli shop closed, and we were there without the cannoli, which was hard. We all suffered through the pandemic, and yeah.
I'm laughing at the cannolis, the element of it. You still managed to get it done despite the fact that the cannoli shop.
We soldiered through.
Soldiered through. That's the word I was looking for. Joe, you did it. Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
Again, I'm so happy that we were able to spend this time. And thank
absolutely.
You for this amazing film, my friend.
Oh, thank you very much indeed.
Bryce Aaron, congratulations on a beautiful film. I know we spoke earlier. I'm going to be all Hollywood right now. Yeah, we were at the after party and you were lounging. And I mentioned I was a former radio guy.
Yeah.
I zero in on music, and it always will be one of my first loves. So let's go to the beginning. Where did Cyrano begin for you guys? Bryce, I'll start with you.
Yes, Cyrano began actually as a phone call from Erica Schmidt, who wrote the screenplay and had this idea to transform this 19th century classic tale, into a piece with songs. And so she's a big fan of the band, as is her husband, Peter Dinklage. And so they asked us, would we ever consider writing songs for this? I don't know why I got that call or I got the invite to come have brunch with her. And I think the first thing I said was that this is a terrible idea, which I was wrong about, of course. But, it was kind of amazing. They scheduled they read the play for us with our instrumental music, where they basically kind of underscored and did like a script reading. And this is years ago, and it was so moving to hear her modern adaptation of this, and then music that to her, she said she wrote the screenplay while listening to our music, instrumental music. And we kind of understood. It just made sense all of a sudden. And so that was the beginning of the journey.
Aaron, what was important to convey? I never knew so much as I know. The only time I'd ever heard about Cyrano before was a Brady Bunch episode. I love that show. And, but I didn't really know the story of Cyrano. Now I do. So what was important to convey through the music?
I mean, that was one of the great things about having done, we did 2 sort of off-Broadway theatrical proof of concept runs with Erica and with Haley and Peter. And Erica was it was the first time we'd written songs in service of a narrative. Because we've written songs for more than 20 years that are more personal, and with Matt, Burning It from the National, are kind of like grounded in our own lives or our own experience. And so writing in service of a narrative and understanding like how each song has to advance the narrative or play a role. So you can't just write a good song and have it work, because that's where we're used to just hunting for the good songs and, making albums. So this was, in a way, it was a challenge just to learn. But we found that it came quite naturally. And I think it's a credit to Erica and then to Joe as well, like that they pushed us to, let's write a trio that expresses the sensuality of words through letters, that all 3 will sing together. And we're kind of like, we're just trying to write a good song. Like, I don't know, but like we did it with Matt and Corinne. And yeah, it was, I think, gave us a lot of new, we learned a lot.
I'm going to be Hollywood again. Something else we spoke at the party and all that. I don't remember who said it, but someone said it's not the Broadway-ish type songs. And I love that. Can you expand on that? Because I want to share that with everyone watching this right now.
Yeah, the songs are not needle drop kind of pop songs in the traditional sense of either kind of, big pop songs or Broadway songs or whatever. They're songs written to kind of seamlessly come out of the dialogue and the poetry of this whole film, and they express really intimate interior emotions, and they're like, it's a kind of heartbeat of the film, and so they're and like most of the songs we write, they kind of creep up on you. They might not hit you over the head with a sledgehammer, but they'll kind of bury themselves under your pillow, and you'll be it's slowly over time. So that's the kind of song that it is, that they are. And that we've spent our lives making those kinds of songs, really. And so but the film is interesting because it's really based on the way we write. We call them ugly ducklings. Yeah. Eventually you love them.
Yeah, it's not the... I'm a fan, I know that. Hey, thanks guys, seriously, great work.